Welcome back to another episode of PTV. I'm Samantha Pruitt.
And I'm Danica Hanchett. Our environmental science class is teaming up with other classes to give the school garden another try this spring. Haley Bruner tells us more.
Soil testing and compost bins? Looks like classes are giving the school garden another try this spring.
Compost bins are spread out throughout the school for students to put scraps of food or decomposable items in for the garden. We made them by cutting a small hole in the bin, and we came out with a piece of sucker rod and put flat iron to help stir it and came up with a handle. There has been some things put in the bin, but not a whole lot yet.
Composting is only one part of the process to make the garden successful.
We started the garden as just kind of a project to get students involved outdoors, as well as looking at sustainability and some skills they may want to have in the future. I hope they kind of get an appreciation of how hard it is to grow food, for one thing, and I just kind of hope they take some skills into their future, maybe if they would like to have a garden of their own.
Care for the garden will extend through the summer months.
Care for the garden is going to be kind of the responsibility of 3 different groups. Mrs. Weisar's classes, as well as FCCLA, and then the environmental science class. Mrs. Weisar and I will kind of head it up over the summer.
I think it will be successful if we put all the work into it and spend the time and make it a good garden.
For PTV, this is Haley Bruner.
Welcome to Silent Library PTV Edition. I'm your host, Kurt Coombs. Let's meet our contestants now. John Gower, Nate Tedford, Caleb Seville, Christopher Van Kooten, Erica Hoover, and Sierra Roth. The number 1 rule is to stay silent. Let the games begin.
Just on the ground.
Fishy fishy. One teammate will eat Swedish fish off of fishnet stockings on little medium Q.
Pain, humiliation, and success. You get the point.
Not only is spring a time when gardens are planted, but it's also the time of year when students get ready for prom. Caitlin Freeman gives us a glimpse into this year's red carpet promenade at the Courthouse Square.
At the annual red carpet event for prom, students not only had a chance to show off their fancy cars, but also to show off their style.
I like the shoes. Your dad said you could get in all sorts of trouble and he'll forgive you tonight. Oh, I don't know about that. Seth, you look so cute! Did you actually trust one of those old guys driving your vehicle? You guys have a great time, stay up all night, and make sure you get home and slam some doors when you get home to let your parents know you're home, all right? Mr. Moon, you know her dad is very strong man. I do, but I think I can take it. I swear when I see you walk up, it's like I was just sawing him. What are you two looking forward to most tonight? Getting it over with.
For PTV, this is Caitlin Freeman.
After the promenade, students were ready for the main event, the actual dance itself, followed by post-prom. Caleb Reed fills us in.
PTV students enjoyed an enchanted night at this year's prom.
I think the dance is really good, and everybody was dancing like crazy.
While some enjoyed the fast dances, others enjoyed slowing it down a bit. For many, prom is just about relaxing with friends and dressing up.
I think that prom is a really good way for students to have fun and relax and get to dress up and look nice for a night. I really like it.
After the prom dance, the fun continued at the post-prom party. Students played a variety of games like bingo, darts, and poker, and they also enjoyed several inflatables.
Well, it just gets a bunch of kids together in a school atmosphere, and everybody can have fun and enjoy themselves and talk without having to worry about the teachers telling them not to.
I think the activities are really fun, and I think that having a bunch of games for kids to win prizes is a really good idea. And all the inflatable games are a good way for kids to tire themselves out so they can go home and sleep afterwards.
One of the main attractions of the night was the hypnotist. For PTV, this is Caleb Reed.
One of my favorite parts of post-prom is winning prizes at bingo. It's always fun to get free stuff.
Yes, but sometimes what's more important than receiving is giving back to the community. Natalie Hughes reports on how the community came together to support and raise money for hospice.
Phillipsburg heroes came to save the day at this year's hospice fundraiser. To raise money, a meal was served and an auction followed.
This event is to support hospice as we care for people who are facing the end of life. So it's kind of to help supplement the costs that aren't covered with reimbursement.
The event brought in nearly $40,000.
I think it went really well. It was a lot of fun. I think that they raised a lot of money for the hospice, and you wouldn't think that people would spend as much money on small items as they did, but I think because they were aware that it was going toward a good cause, people were willing to buy more stuff at the auction.
And just the community support. We've been so blessed this is the 33rd dinner, and it just keeps growing and getting better, and it's just amazing.
For PTV, this is Natalie Hughes.
Speaking of healthcare, Congressman Roger Marshall recently visited Phillipsburg to discuss healthcare concerns and other relevant issues. Sydney Redinger reports.
United States Congressman Roger Marshall visited Phillipsburg to discuss current issues in Washington, including immigration, national security, and tax reforms.
I'm here to listen to your opinions and make sure that I know what's going on in Phillipsburg, Kansas, and surrounding area.
Reforming health care was another focus for a conversation during Marshall's visit.
And with all my heart, I think at the end of the day, this legislation will provide more care for more people at a lower cost and will literally save Kansas hospitals.
Well, from a healthcare perspective, it's reimbursement and regulations, and I thought he addressed those, and he's working on them. I mean, certainly the economy and just helping small towns, not only survive but hopefully thrive going forward, I think are the issues that he addressed and he's paying attention to. So anyway, I thought it was a good session, and we appreciate him coming to Phillips County Health Systems to talk to the community.
Congressman Marshall believes high school students should be aware of the issues and stay involved in the governmental process.
I think that national security should be very important to a high school student. I think the economy is very important. How are you going to pay for your college education if we don't have a strong economy? A strong economy means extra tax dollars being used in our universities, our community colleges, our technical colleges. So the economy is always going to be important. But I think at the high school level, what's important is you keep educating and try to understand the process and not get too hung up on who's right and who's wrong, but just understanding and learning and listening.
My thoughts today, he was very well spoken, and he had a lot of good comments of what people asked him. He responded very well. I think he will do very well in his role in what he's going to do.
Appreciate his relationship that he's building with other individuals in Congress and with the Trump administration, so I thought it was really well done.
For PTV, this is Sydney Redinger.
Cupcake smash. 4 teammates will smash a cupcake in your face.
Pain, but no gain. Your teammates laughed like little schoolgirls. No point.
Did you see that April the giraffe finally had her calf?
Yes, that was pretty cool. I wonder what it'd be like to have a giraffe as a pet.
Somehow, I don't think that would be allowed, but there are some pretty strange pets in the area. Amber Sadler has the story.
According to the American Veterinary Medical Association, dogs are the most common pet, with 36% of households owning an average of 1.5 dogs each. However, for some families, pet ownership is nothing close to average.
My dad loves animals and just collecting things in general, like animals, cars, guns, kids.
Even worms. The Gibsons have dogs, pigeons, horses, mini ponies, worms, and snakes.
I've always thought they were beautiful creatures as a little kid, and so as I grew older, I've always loved them. And then when my son Danton expressed his love of snakes, we ended up to start getting some, actually. So they're both really pretty snakes, both very docile. This one gets pretty big. This one will get probably about twice its size. This one will get about 3 or 4 times its size.
English teacher Miss Knipe also has an unusual pet.
I have a hedgehog, and it's actually an albino hedgehog. We've only had him for a couple weeks, but he's getting pretty used to the house and us, at least a little bit.
A hedgehog isn't Miss Knipe's first uncommon pet.
I actually had a bunch of tarantulas when I was younger, and I really enjoy spiders, and I like holding them and stuff, so I would probably get myself a tarantula.
For PTV, this is Amber Sadler.
Earlier this month, our music programs competed in Oberlin at the regional music contest. Royce Turner explains.
Faction and end to wealth increase.
Phillipsburg musicians recently traveled to Oberlin for the annual regional music contest.
King after death.
The Amendment Men took Down Among the Dead Men, and us as an Amendment group took The Silence Speaks.
Solos and ensembles alike performed to try to qualify for state later this month.
I took my tuba as a solo. I think I did pretty well. Not when I was up there. My face is pretty red, but I got a 1.
State qualifiers are the percussion ensemble, Quentin Conrad on the trap set, Kurt Coombs on the trap set, Mackenzie Martin on her flute solo, Macy Whitmer on her saxophone solo, Kirsten Moore with a flute solo, Jack Pockbeer with a trumpet solo, and Cole Wenzel with a tuba solo. On the vocal side, we have Royce Turner with a vocal solo, Jack Pockbeer with a vocal solo, the Amendment as an ensemble, the Amendment Men as a small ensemble, and the Amendment Women as a small ensemble.
We had 12 entries at contest, and 8 of them are going to state, so that's really, really good.
The state-bound musicians will perform in Gibson on April 29th. For PTV, this is Royce Turner.
Good luck to state music qualifiers next weekend. After regionals, the Amendment went to Denver for their annual tour. Take a look.
What? The PHS Amendment took their annual tour to Denver. The trip consisted of going around Denver, going to the zoo, singing to the veterans, and quality bonding time. Giving back to the veterans was enjoyed by many.
My favorite part of tour would probably be, I would say, going around and singing to all the veterans because of what they did and how honorable it is to sing to them and whatnot.
The trip wasn't all about performing, it also had bonding time too.
Another one, I had a turtle named Speedy. Me and my dad were playing catch with him. My dad said touchdown, so I spiked him. I killed him.
I thought they performed very well. We had a limited amount of space in the different hallways in the hospital, and they were able to still dance and get a lot of things done. They smiled, they delivered, they performed, and it was really fun to watch.
Friends who like me 'cause I got lots of dough.
For PTV, this is Danica Hanchett.
The grade school students recently performed their spring music program.
It looks like Mrs. Pinkerton has a lot of good talent coming her way in the next few years. Riley Breton recaps the music program.
And we welcome you to the 7 o'clock edition of the Weather Channel.
The forecast called for good singing, fun instruments, and entertaining routines at this year's elementary music program. Music teacher Kim Munyon creates the unique themes each year.
I try to find a program that I did that I've never used before, which is getting harder and harder, but it's just something I think of in my head that can find good songs to go with it.
Each grade sang 2 songs and performed 1 routine, which showcased singing and athletic talents.
I like my class's routine. The rainbow dance.
Throughout the night, the teachers appeared in skits related to the theme. One of the most popular routines was the Thunderstruck Light Show.
I like dancing to Thunderstruck. I think we had the good one because we were in the dark and we had the glow sticks.
Overall, the concert was a success.
I think the kids did a great job tonight. We always, just kind of struggle a little bit in practice, but it always comes together and they do an awesome job.
For PTV, this is Riley Breton.
Sam, Pacers just had tryouts, right?
Yes, but the Pacers aren't the only ones in the school that dance. Let's take a look.
While some athletes lace up their track or golf spikes, Dominic Rudd dares to do something different.
I enjoy dance a lot because I get to express myself and show my emotions, and it's another activity that I enjoy.
Dominic's parents were instrumental in supporting him to further his dance skills.
We made the decision to put Dominic in dance because all of our kids kind of pick an extracurricular activity that they enjoy, that they want to pursue. And we were at the wedding of a friend, and he got out on the dance floor and he started dancing and had a great time. And I have a coworker whose daughter participated in a competition dance team, and we kind of got to talking about it and said, hey, it might be great for him to check it out and see if he likes it. So we did, and it went really well.
At first, dancing in a class full of girls was a little bit awkward, but over the year, I've learned to be a little bit more comfortable with dancing.
Daring to do something different also meant sometimes getting teased by others.
That was definitely a concern of mine as a parent, is you never want to put your kid in something that that might get them singled out. But being in class is giving him a lot more technical skill and giving him some opportunities to learn about genres that he doesn't naturally gravitate toward, but that that definitely expand his skill pool.
My advice for a lot of boys out there would probably be stepping out of your comfort zone. Yes, it does feel very awkward and you may not like it, but if you still continue to pursue it, you might just understand and learn something new.
For PTV, this is Alicia Hernandez.
Our golf team continues to do well as they've placed first or second on all the tournaments they've competed in so far. Reika Kamira reports on a recent tournament.
The Phillipsburg golf team had another successful day as they competed at the Osborne meet.
I did pretty well.
Ron Ellis was the Phillipsburg's top golfer with a score of 84, which placed 6th. JC Coleman placed 9th.
I definitely should have shot better. I did triple 2 holes, which is not very good at all.
Seth Jacobs and Tyler Martin placed 11th, Trey Size placed 15th, and Nathan Moon placed 18th. Panthers placed 2nd out of 6 teams.
I just need to go out from about 100, 150 yards and just hit in and see if I can land on the green.
For PTV, this is Reika Kimura.
Our track team is also doing well. Jason Fink reports on how the Panthers did last week at Smith Center.
Did you guys win? Come set! They got third.
The varsity track team traveled to Smith Center last Tuesday to compete in the track meet. Ashlyn Kennedy placed second in the mile and third in the 2 mile, but hopes for even better in the future.
I want to get down eventually to like 5:40 in the mile and maybe under 13 in the 2 mile, so I still got a long ways to go, but hopefully eventually I can get there.
Chris Van Kooten also placed for the Panthers by getting 5th in shot put. The track team did well, but think they can still improve throughout the season.
I think that we are competing well with the other teams, and most of the tournaments we're up there and getting the points we need to. So I think we can do better, but as the year progresses, I think we'll get up there.
As well as improving as a team, some members also want to improve on their own.
I think that in triple jump I can push myself and push my phases and get farther in each phase, and all making my jump farther, and probably could get a lot faster in the 100 too.
For PTV, this is Jasa Fink.
Mess with the bull, you get the tongue. Each teammate will touch your face with a cow tongue.
You went through all of that for nothing. No point. Good job. You guys survived today. But just remember, when you come to the library, it has to be silent. Shh.